What's going on? Welcome to the Shooting the Schmidt YouTube channel. Hopefully you've had a nice week. Happy early Thanksgiving. This will either be the second to last or last video before Thanksgiving, and then I'll be back again on that Monday. And heading into Thanksgiving, it's late November now. Teams are kind of starting to round into shape in the NFL. Who are the best teams in the NFL? Who are the not best teams in the NFL? Actually, no, I'm just going to do the top 10 because it's a Tuesday, and I do this thing on my radio show here called Top 10 Tuesday. And I'm just going to bring it over here to the Shooting the Schmidt YouTube channel as well. So, number 10, I've got the Minnesota Vikings. They almost blew a game to the Bears on Sunday, up 10. Bears come storming back late. Sam Darnold's been better these last 2 weeks, but they just have a ceiling with him. I don't trust him. I mean, let's be honest. If you got to pick between Sam Darnold and Justin Herbert or Sam Darnold and Tua, you're probably not going to pick Sam Darnold in either one of those spots, right? Now, when he plays well, they're more than capable of beating anybody. The issue is you just don't know when he's going to play well. So I'm going to put the Minnesota Vikings at number 10 on the list. Number 9, I've got the Miami Dolphins. Now, once again, these are the best teams in the NFL. This isn't standings. This is who's playing the best right now. The Miami Dolphins have to be on here. Okay, since Tua came back, they have as many 3-and-outs as they do games where they didn't punt once. And that's one. They've had one 3-and-out since Tua's come back, and they've had one game where they didn't punt once. That's just insane. They've won 3 in a row. I get it. It's against lesser competition, but it's pretty evident that when Tua's running this offense that they're one of the best teams in the NFL. The defense playing solid as well. So I like Miami. They're sitting there at 9. They've got a real chance to go on a run late here to kind of end it and make the playoffs. We'll see. They've got 3 cold weather games at Cleveland, at New York, and at Green Bay on Thursday, on Thanksgiving Day. So we're going to learn a lot about them coming up on Thursday when they go to Green Bay to take on the Packers. Number 8 on the list, I'm going to go with the Steelers. I know they lost to the Browns. Cold weather game, snow game. Snow games are weird. They just are. The truth of the matter with Pittsburgh is I trust this defense more than any other defense in the NFL. They get after the quarterback. They stop the run. They've got good players on the back end. The defense is solid. I don't think I have to convince anybody of that. The question is just the offense, right? They want to run the ball and throw it deep. Question is, can they throw it? Can they hit it on enough of those deep shots, right? That didn't happen against Cleveland, and they lost. And so that is kind of the question for them. If they can, hit a couple more deep shots, then they'll be fine. Number 7, I've got the Los Angeles Chargers. Love this team. Love watching them play. They were just simply not as talented as the Ravens. They aren't as talented as the Ravens. That's why they got beat last night. But they're talented at quarterback. I like their defense. They've got multiple good players. They just don't have the weapons at wide receiver to compete with the Ravens and the Chiefs and the Bills and the Eagles and really the better, more kind of premier teams in the NFL at this point. But they're heading in the right direction, right? When they bring in a couple receivers, their Super Bowl window, I think, will open very, very quickly. Number 6, I've got the Green Bay Packers. They took it to the hindered 49ers on Sunday. Jordan Love wasn't great, but he didn't turn the ball over, and for him, that's a big deal. This defense continues to play well, and that's really what they have to do to win games. Jordan Love has to just not turn the ball over. Okay, it feels like every game that they lose, it's because he's thrown 2 picks or something along those lines. When he just holds on to the ball and he makes good decisions, and he allows this really good receiving room to make plays, and he allows Josh Jacobs to run the football a lot, then they'll be fine. Speaking of Josh Jacobs, the Packers, they run the ball so well. They're actually a lot of fun to watch just because of how well they run the football, but I've got the Packers at 6. If Jordan Love can just play a little more consistent, I'll probably likely move them up the list here. Number 5, I've got the Baltimore Ravens. Offense is dynamic. That doesn't need to be explained. Derrick Henry, 30-year-old running back. Doesn't matter. He's just going to keep running over dudes and stiff-arming guys. Lamar Jackson could win the MVP again. I still have some questions about their defense. It's been better these last 2 weeks, especially on the back end. They've got no issue stopping the run. That's why they crushed the Chargers last night. The question is, how does the back end of their defense hold up? They've been better these past couple of weeks. If that continues, then I'll definitely move them up my rankings because that offense is probably the second best offense in the NFL, but behind the Lions, obviously. And so the question for me when it comes to them has just been the defense. And if that secondary can figure things out, then they'll be they'll be fine and they'll be capable of beating anybody. Number 4, I've got the Eagles, which I don't like. I don't trust Nick Sirianni, but that team's just so dang talented, man. Like, they have the best or second best offensive line in the NFL. Saquon Barkley is being thrown in the MVP conversation right now. I mean, he's just, ripping everybody. Jalen Hurts, he's having one of the best years of his career, right? Currently has a career high in passer in completion percentage and pass rating. He's currently on pace to set a career high in rushing touchdowns. I mean, like his touchdown to turnover ratio is 23-9. Like he's having a really good year. The defense is good. Okay, got off to a slow start this year, but as the years kind of progressed, as that secondary, which is young by the way, as those guys have gotten more reps, like they've just been better and better and better. So the Eagles are at 4. Number 3, I've got the Kansas City Chiefs. Seeing them narrowly beat the Panthers is concerning, but maybe that's just who the Chiefs are. Maybe they're just a team who's going to play everybody close, and they're going to play the level of their competition until the final 2 minutes, and then they'll get the stop that they need, or Patrick Mahomes will get the score that they need in order to win. And then when we get to the playoffs, we'll see them kind of take it up a notch, kind of like what we saw from them last year. So maybe this is just who they are. Either way, they're still the Chiefs. They still have Mahomes. They're still 10-1, and it's hard to knock a team that keeps on winning. Okay, like they scored 30 points, which is what they should have done against the Panthers. The issue is they gave up 27. That was surprising to say the least. Spagnuolo, he'll make some adjustments. They'll figure it out. I'm not worried about the Chiefs at all. You're probably going to turn on whatever TV show today, and they're going to be like, oh, should we be concerned about the Chiefs that are 10-1 and the one game they lost was on the road at Buffalo to Josh Allen? The answer is no, we shouldn't be. Number 2, I've got the Buffalo Bills. They had a bye week, but nothing has changed for them. Okay, 2 weeks ago, they beat the Chiefs by 2 possessions without Dalton Kincaid or Keon Coleman, probably their second and third most important targets in their offense. They hung 30 against a good defense. They held the Chiefs' offense to 21 points without their best player, Matt Milano, who is set to make a return at some point here soon. Okay, and he's only going to make them better. Amari Cooper appears to have been just an outstanding pickup. And coming off this bye week, I'm actually very intrigued to see how he looks in their offense. So they've got Amari Cooper, they can run the ball, and Josh Allen's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. That dude can put on the cape and go win a football game whenever you need him to. And the difference between now and years past is it used to just kind of be him and Stephon Diggs. But now, like I said, this run game is really working. This defense is good. So I've got the Buffalo Bills at number 2. Number 1, I've got the Detroit Lions. They are the Indiana Hoosiers of the NFL. Okay, like they just blow out each and every single bad team that they play. I mean, they blow out all the bad teams, right? They beat the Colts 24-6 on Sunday. They beat the Jaguars 52-6. 2 weeks ago they beat the Titans 52-14. Geez, AFC South. They beat the Cowboys 47-9. I mean, like they're just blowing bad teams out left and right. And then whenever they play good teams, they beat them too. Okay, like they beat the Cardinals. That's a good football team. The Vikings, the Texans, the Packers, like those are 4 good wins. Like I know that I don't have the Texans or the Cardinals on here, but I mean, if you watch the games on Sunday, then you know that those are good NFL teams that are going to have a chance to win their division. So, yeah, the offense for the Lions gets a lot of attention as it should. Jared Goff's having a really good year. They run the crap out of the ball between Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. So, the offense, awesome. I don't think I have to talk too much about it, given the fact that I read off, that they scored 47, 52, and 52 in games against NFL defenses. The thing that's really popping right now for the Lions, though, is that defense. Haven't given up a touchdown in 10 quarters. Zadarius Smith is playing now. He's going to have some sort of an impact. They are just as complete of a team that you'll find in the NFL. I mean, they're just going to kind of roll through everybody. That's what it feels like, at least. If Aiden Hutchinson hadn't gotten hurt, I'd be really confident in that because he was on pace to be the Defensive Player of the Year. But, he obviously got hurt. That team just feels like they're just far away from everybody else, which isn't true because the Bills are good and, they're probably going to have to play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and we know how that always goes. And so we'll have to wait and see. But the Lions, man, they just feel like they are far and away better than everybody else. thanks for taking the time out of your day to tune in and check out the video. I'll be back tomorrow with an NBA take that I've got cooking, or I guess more of an NBA observation. Let's go with that. With an NBA observation that I've got cooking, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. That way you don't miss that. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to check out my video. I'll talk to you again tomorrow.